This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are discussing about date and time functions, right? We completed with get date diff, date part, date name. Let us understand what is day and month and year. So it is equivalent to date part itself. Okay. So let me go to the query window, and always you need to write your database, right? So we can use our database name. If you don't know database name, simply you can drag and drop the database here and say go, execute it. Now, since I know the database name and table names, I'm not referring. Otherwise, you can simply go and drag and drop the table name as well if you wanted to drag it. Let me simply go there and drag and drop like this and execute it. So this is my table. Now I wanted to show you one thing here. So I wanted to use date part, right? So if I need, let us say, account ID, name, and DOO. So within, using DOO, I wanted to get date part of YYDOO as year number. Okay. So when I execute this, I will be able to get the year number. Okay. If I need a quarter number, same thing, I need to copy and paste it. And here I have to say QQ as a quarter number. So when I execute it, so this transaction is happened in the fourth quarter of 2020 because it is October month. So this transaction is happened in the second quarter. Clear? So like that, if you need, so year number, year wise, right? And quarter wise, and let us say month wise, month number this is. So month number. If you need month name to be there, then what we need to do? Instead of this, we're supposed to have date name, right? Date name as month name NM. So execute this. You should be able to see year number, quarter number, month name. And after that, if you wanted to get week, then you say WW, and which is week number, right? So week number, then I wanted to get day number as well. So day, and this will be a day for you. So you should be able to get whatever you need. The complete data can be given. Okay. So year wise, month wise, like that. So year number, quarter number. So this transaction is happened. So in this year, in this quarter, in this month name, in this week number. So this is the day number. We can get the data like this. So instead of writing like this, you can also use one more shortcut. That is year of DO. Okay. So as year number as well. So when you can write like this or you can write like this. This is a shortcut. So both of them are same. So this and this is the same one. Clear? So year number and year number. So I have a month, right? So instead of this, you can also say month of DO as month number. Now you see. So this month is giving same result. So whether you write like this or like this, you can use either this or this. Okay, year of this. These are the shortcuts to date part. Clear? So that's what I'm explaining. Day of, month of, year of you can use. If you need, so only the day of also you can write month of, year of instead of using date part, DD comma DO. Clear? So these are the shortcut functions. Now people may ask you sometimes, so what is the question they may ask you? They may ask you, I need year wise. quarter wise, month wise, okay, sales, sales amount or total balance. So this kind of a queries you will see in the data analytics side. So Amazon company wanted to know the sales, right? They wanted to know year wise, quarter wise, month wise total sales happened in India. What is the sales happened in America? What is the total sales happened per year wise, quarter wise, month wise, week wise, whatever they wanted to have. So here we have a balance column, right? So when I say year wise, you have to apply group by clause, right? So let me go and say select star from the account master table. Now let us use group by. In the group by, what I need year wise. Year wise means I can use this or this. Anything is fine. So this will give you year wise data, but without alias, comma, quarter wise data. Quarter wise means already we know how to get the quarter. So you must use this function without alias. Alias has to be used in the select clause, not in the group by. So if you want to get a quarter wise, so you need to go to this one and find out the quarter. If the quarter is the one, quarter is two, you need to separate this data. Year wise, quarter wise, then total balance. So whatever you have it here, same thing we are going to be putting here. So this is not going to work. So this is not going to work. Why? Because apart from aggregate functions, a lot of things we discussed, right? So this you need to take it and you need to put them. And when you use a group by clause, we know that we must use aggregate functions. This is what is called as year number, and this is quarter number, and sum of clear balance as, let us say, total balance. Now let me execute this query. This will give you year wise, quarter wise data. Okay. If you need month wise instead of a month, so I take the month name. So this is the one. Okay. If you need year wise, this is year wise. This is quarter wise. Then later, I wanted to have month wise. Okay, month wise. If I keep something here, will it work? Let us check. Will it work? It is not going to work. Why? Because apart from aggregate function, whatever be the column that is here, so that has to be here. Okay. So this is there, then this is there, this is there, and this is there, and this is missing in the group by clause. Without comma and without alias, you must keep them here without fail. Clear? So Control C and Control V. So this is the important one that you have to use it. Now let me execute this query. So it will give you year wise, quarter wise, month wise total balance. Clear? I wanted to know not one, two, two like this. I wanted to have a Q1, Q2. So I wanted to concatenate. Concatenate means plus. So this will give me 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter numbers. I would like to concatenate. I would like to attach Q, right? Q and concatenate one, Q1, Q2 like that. But unfortunately, this will give you an integer. Okay. So when you take the QQ from this, it is give you an integer. So it will give you a lot of cast and conversion issues. Okay. It is clearly telling conversion failed. Okay, because Q is a string character value, this will give you a number. So that is not going to work. You need to cast it. Cast, open the bracket here. So as varchar. So this I told you already. So how to use cast and convert functions, right? Cast column name as varchar or as integer, whatever you wanted to have it. So this will give you a beautiful query like this. Let me execute it. Now you see this. So year wise, year wise, quarter wise, month wise total balance. So in 2011, quarter one February, this is the total sales amount. So in lot of data analytical queries, we use year wise, month wise, semester wise, quarter wise, right? And day wise, month wise, and state wise, country wise, state wise, city wise, town wise, colony wise. So I wanted to have the sales, right? I wanted to have a product category wise, subcategory wise, product wise, what is the sales. So lot of things will be available in your data basis. So you need to use this kind of a logic. So wise means group by clause. Wise means what? Group by clause. So how to get year number, how to get quarter number, how to get date number and date name. We know we need to use date part functions or date name functions. Clear? So this kind of a queries you will be able to see most of the queries in your data analytical. So in MSBA especially. Clear? So whenever you create, or in Power BI as well. Tomorrow when you learn Power BI, they will give you raw data. They will give you some data and they'll tell you, I wanted to have year wise, quarter wise, month wise sales amount I wanted to have. So, but they don't give you data in this format. They'll give you this kind of a data, right? So they'll give you simply select star from. Okay, they'll give you this table. They'll give you this table, but they'll ask you output like that. So they'll give you this kind of a data. There is no year number, but how do you get year number and everything? They will ask you to take this column and this column, and on these two columns you need to perform year wise, quarter wise, month wise, total sales amount for branch BR1. So this is the query you should be able to write. So this will give you year wise, quarter wise, month wise, total sales happened for, let us say, branch BR1. So this is what is called where clause, right? Now you can see the sales in this. In BR1, this is the sales. In BR2 or BR3, this is the sales. So BR1, BR2, whatever they wanted to have it. Okay. So this is the sales. Okay. And BR1, and they can give you, I need for some year. They may give you is equivalent to 2011. So what is the meaning? I don't need for all years. I need for BR1 and only for 2011, I need the sales. So you can get for both cases. Only for 2011, so this is the sales. For 2012, and what is the sales? There's no sales happened. Okay, 2013, what is the sales? Nothing. Okay, only very little sales is available. 2014, what is the sales for BR1? So these parameters you can change. These values you can change and keep working on. So where is the, what is the, sales for this guy? What is the sales for, for this year? And within the year wise, quarter wise, again month wise, what is the total sales, right? So you can apply where clause to filter the data. When you have so much of a data to be analyzed or to be seen, it is very very difficult for people. For example, if you have 1,000 branches, and seeing 1,000 branches data at a at a time is very very difficult for anybody. So they filter something. I wanted to see, let us see only last 5 years of data. So 2014 or 2015 or later. So how do you say 2015 or later means like this. So they wanted to see BR1 sales 2015 or later data. So like that, they are going to filter the data. Filtering means with the help of a where clause. Clear? So all these things can be done in the data analytical side, but in OLTP side also, in normal database side also, people may ask you to write this kind of a queries, right? So we are using what? Sum. So automatically it is going to be grouping the data. So how the execution? It will go to the table and it will filter all the data first. Whatever the data it needs it will filter, and it will keep the required data. Then it is going to be grouping this one. Within this group, it will going to group the quarter wise. Within that quarter, again it is going to group month wise. Clear? Then after that, the summing is going to happen. After summing, the display of all these things will happen. Clear? So from clause, where clause, then within the group by clause, this will get grouped first, then this will get grouped, then this will get grouped, then aggregation is going to be happening, then displaying will happen along with this. If you don't display, nothing to worry. So it is going to display only the numbers. It still works, right? But that is not the one. Whatever you're having in the group by clause should be present in the select clause. Whatever you have it in the select clause has to be there in the group by clause. And here you better provide alias. Alias should not be there in the group by clause because it is to display the uh, label name to the end user. Am I clear? This is how you should be able to understand these queries. These are pretty much easy for you to understand, not very difficult. The next one, let us discuss. That is date add function. This is also very, very important one. Let us see this. Fifth function is date add function. Let me read this function. What is this? It adds or subtracts days or months or years to the given date and returns the future or past date. Future or past date. It takes three arguments. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is very, very easy. So this is the syntax. It will take three arguments. The syntax is this. Okay. So date add. So I wanted to add 40 days to the current date. If I add 40 days to the current date, what will be the future date I wanted to know? Okay. So the future date would be so March 2nd because today is 21st Jan. If I add this one, if I minus 40, if I minus 40 days, what will happen? It will go back to the previous year. If I add, if I subtract 50 months from the get date, so what will be my, past date? It was 2016, November 30, 21st. So if I subtract minus 180 years, clear, from the current date, or you can give any date here. Okay, let me say 2020 March and 2022. To this date, if I, minus 180 years, then what was my past date? The date was this. Okay, you can see this was the date. So you can add years, days, months, or you can subtract year, days, months, quarter, semesters, whatever you wanted to do it, you should be able to do it like this. Where exactly we can use date add functions. For example, I wanted to know account ID, name, C balance, and date of opening from the account master table. Now, I wanted to know, for example, this is the amount to pay. For example, you guys are paying amount as a fees to me, and the second installment you may be paying after 15 days or after 30 days. So I wanted to know this is the first payment details. You think like this. This is paid on. So let me answer this. This is paid on. You paid this amount on some day to me. Okay. So what is the next due date? So that I wanted to give you, right? So when you make the payment, they'll tell you the next due date. So next due date will be after 15 days or after 1 month or after 20 days, something like this. So for that purpose, date add. So DD after 20 days to this date. Okay. So whatever be the date that you take it, plus add 20 days, and this will be the next due date for you to make the next amount. So or 15 days, if I say 10 days, 15 days, So you should be able to get like that. So paid on this and due date is this. You paid on 2020, October 26th. Next due is 2020, November 15th. Clear? 2024, 4th April 12th you made it. 2020, May, 2nd you need to make it. Clear? So like that, you should be able to add something like this. To this date, if I add 20 days, what will be my future date? So you should be able to do like this. Clear? So in many cases, we're going to be using this date add DD. I wanted to add only one day, or I wanted to add 1 month. So 1 month means this is the month. So next due date is same date but next month. So April 12th, May 12th. So so July 17th, 2019 it is this one. If you're not able to see the data, always you copy the data, copy with headers, and always you open Excel sheet and you can try to understand it. This kind of a checking is very, very important. Whether everything is properly coming or not, you have to check them clearly. It is not able to show you this data. You better convert format cells and date. Okay. So you cannot see the proper, whenever you copy the data, it is not copying properly, right? It is copying properly, but it's not showing the dates correctly. You need to go here, right click on this, say format cells, and click on a date and choose one style. Choose this style and click on OK. So this is how you should be able to see your data clearly in your Excel sheet and try to understand everything is properly happening or not. Paid on, due date on. So you paid the amount on 21st, 26th October, due date 26th November, right? So 11th May you paid and 1 month duration. So 11th June you supposed to make. So this is a perfectly coming. So this kind of a testing you have to do in your data. After writing query, you cannot say that, sir, I have done my queries. So let me submit the queries for review. So this is not the way. You have to test it. Everything is properly happening, or you need to test it. This kind of a testing is called as, I told you, unit testing, right? Unit testing, I told you. So what is unit? The unit is the query. Query is given you some result set. Whether it is correctly giving or not, because you said after 1 month date you're supposed to get it, right? So are you getting properly or not? You clearly verify here. So if your verification is done properly, then you have done the proper justification to your work, right? So this is what is called unit testing, right? So if you make a tea or coffee, you're going to be testing the coffee, right? So whether how it smells, whether it is hot or cold, whether you have good color to the coffee or not, how it smells, proper quantity available in the cup or not, whether the cup is cleaned or wiped or not, right? Whether you have a good cup or not, lot of testings will be done before you serve the coffee to your guest, right? So mother is going to be taking care of that. So that is what is called unit testing. You think coffee is a unit, a single unit, and the single unit has to be tested thoroughly. Who's going to be testing? People who are going to be making the coffee. Developer means makers, right? So authors, makers, developers. So unit testing will be done by always a makers, authors, developers, programmers. So unit testing is not going to be done by a testing team. Clear? So developers themselves, people who have created that unit. So here the unit will be a query. This is one unit. So it is giving you some data. So this, whatever be the output of this query, so that you're going to be testing. This is what is called unit testing. Unit testing is going to be done by developer, not by tester. Remember this. Tester is going to be doing a lot of other testings, system integration testing, SIT testing, at user acceptance testing, performance testing, black box testing, monkey testing, right? Lot of testing will be done by the testers. Developers are going to be doing a testing called as unit testing. Clear? So this is a single unit. So this query itself is a single unit. So this query is producing a lot of data. You supposed to test it clearly. Clear? So what is here? So you're supposed to display all this data plus due date also supposed to display. Whether it is properly happening or not, you need to verify with your Excel and everything. Clear? So this is very, very important. Clear, guys? And if it is properly working, that means this query you have written correctly. Now you can submit this query to your client or to your customer. Clear? So this is the query they must use in their websites to display. So this is the amount you paid on this date, and the next due date is this date. Clear? Something like that we should be able to write. So date add is very, very easy. We can use this date add. How the execution is going to be happening? Execution always a row by row will happen. It will take this row and it will take this value. It will put this value here. Okay, it will put this value here, forget about this one, and to this date it is going to be adding 1 month, so it will give you next month, then it will go to this value will get copied in this. Clear? So always the execution is going to be happening row by row, row by row, row by row. Clear? So we have to supply only the column name. Only the column name you need to supply. So how the SQL server is going to be executing this query? By taking a row by row, value by value, it will get substituted in this, and the execution is going to happen like this. Clear? So that's what is very, very important, guys. How the execution is going to be happening means this is how the execution is going to happen in the SQL Server side. Technology is common sense only. So however we are going to do the same way, even software is also prepared. So it is going to do just like us only. Okay. So remember that point forever. So however we are going to do this activity, SQL Server, Oracle, the computer, the machine is also going to do in the same way, because the algorithms are prepared by human beings. The machines have been prepared by human beings, right? So however you think, the same way, even the softwares and machines are going to do the work, right? That's what is very, very important. So now the last function is end of month. Okay. So starting date of month, anybody can tell you. First, any month you take, the starting date is first. But end of the month is very, very difficult. Sometimes 28th February, 29th February, in some month 30th, 31st. I don't know. Sometimes suddenly the customer will tell you, last month, last day sales I wanted to know. It is very, very difficult. Last month, last date. So or current month last date. If you wanted to get a last day, so how to get last day? You have to supply select end of month. Okay, this is the function, and you need to supply some date here. For example, 2020, say February. Let us say 10th. I wanted to know what was the last day for this date. The last day for this date is this 29th. Okay, in this year, the last day is 29th. If I say uh, May 10th, what is the last day? In May 10th, the last day is 31st, right? Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult. You give any date, doesn't matter. You give any date here, doesn't matter. But last date of this month, May 2020, last day is 31st only. Clear? So where exactly we're going to be using? So let me say, I wanted to pay the amount, okay, by end of that month as a due date. For example, you paid it today, and the next amount is end of that month only you're supposed to pay. For example, you paid on 30th. So the end of the month is 31st. Due date will be 31st only. So I would like to print like that. So now you can use due date is end of the month. So 10th, 26th they make the payment. Copy with headers. Now let me copy that. Now you see 26th October, end of the month, 31st October, they need to clear their dues. 12th April, 30th of April, they supposed to clear the dues. 7th, 17th and 31st October. Because you don't know how many days you need to enter in this. So but the rule is that whenever you make the payment, end of the month, the next final payment you need to make it. So that is the program you're supposed to write it. So you need to say end of the month to this date as a due date. So that will be this. If you make the first payment on 6th March, the next payment has to be made by 30th of March. Clear? So this is the due date which is not coming from the database, which is a constant, or we were using some functions here, end of the month function. It's very, very important. So people would ask you, what was the sales happened in last, month of last date. So last month, you know how to go date diff and if you use the two dates, then you should be able to go to the last date. And within that, you're supposed to get last, date, last date of last month, okay, or the previous month, or current month, last date, something like this. People may ask you questions. So in that, you should be able to use these function clearly. Am I clear? So these are the date and time functions that you need to work on. Clear? So these are the exercises that I'll post them separately in the notepad. You must do this practice and submit in this weekend. Okay. Week wise number of accounts opened in the last month. List the names of the account holders who have opened accounts in the last 5 days. List branch wise, product wise total amount as on last Friday. List the customers who opened accounts in the first week of last month, and how many customers opened accounts in the last date of previous month. Okay. So people may ask you this kind of a queries, right? So on the date and time functions, you better do them slowly. You should be able to do them. Okay. So you take time, but you need to practice them. So each query may take 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, we don't know. But if you don't start, you will not be able to do it in a week's time as well. Clear? So you take one query or two queries per day. Think on the logic. So this is where many people will say, I'm getting a lot of confusions in the developing logic. You need to keep thinking how to get the logic. You need to put a lot of efforts. Okay, it is completely brain work. It is completely brain work. So use it and properly. You take your own time and try to write these queries. Even though it is wrong or right, doesn't matter. You should be able to get this clearly and do them without fail. Am I clear, guys? Any other questions? So we'll stop the session today, and you please do it without fail. And let me give you some more questions as well. So find out last month name. Find out last day of the current month. Okay. So find out the first day name of the current month. You also try to do this. Okay. So this is very, very important. So end of month, as we discussed, it gives us the last day from the given date. It takes only one argument. You need to supply completed date. That's it, nothing else. Okay. You also do these three activities. I'll be, you know, let me go to SQL Server, and let me give you these assignments as well. You can practice them. Okay. Date time assignment. and I'll post these assignments as well. Yeah, you better copy these assignments, and I wanted to post some more assignments. This is the fourth assignment. Okay, you take your time. In weekends, you should be able to do it. Shiva and others, you please watch yesterday's video. I think you are missing yesterday's class, right? You have to take your time and watch that video and complete these assignments and send it to me. Whether it is right or wrong doesn't matter. You try to do these small things. These are the clear. So these are very important that you should do it. And let me give you some more case studies as well on group by clause. Okay, I will add one more case study here. So on group by clause, you should be able to do the queries on group by clause as well. Clear? Thank you guys. Any other questions?